Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Camper Report. Today, I have a very special guest for the third time, Kobe Ransom. How are you doing today? 49ers following a bad loss to the Seahawks. We'll be here to break it down and kind of break down Trey Lance's performance. So, how are you doing despite the loss, Kobe?
I'm doing fine. My feelings toward the Niners changed since I started doing content. I don't get too beat up over losses anymore. But nonetheless, it was not a fun game to watch. As great as it looked early on, it finished very, very ugly. It was a disaster to sum it up for the most part. But let's talk about it. Let's just talk our way through it and talk about some things that were said and came out today that will affect what to expect in the Cardinals game as well.
Yeah, so we can quickly, there were some injuries yesterday that Kobe can fill us in a little bit. I heard about it earlier on today, but he knows a little bit more about it. So let's start with the injury updates and then go from there.
So first, obviously, we know Robbie Gold was out. He hurt his groin, I guess, in warmups. Couldn't go. Apparently, he's out for 3 to 5 weeks. I think that's what they said. So no Robbie Gold for the next few games. So they'll probably be looking for, or they will be looking for another kicker to come in throughout the week.
Who do you think is out there?
I don't care about kickers much. I don't.
We could bring that back. That McLaughlin.
He's in Cleveland, so he's not available.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's out there making 50-yarders. So he had the one shank in the Seattle game. Niner fans didn't want him back, but he was fine though. He's not much worse than Robbie Gold in my opinion. So, but yeah, Robbie Gold's out for a while. Trent Williams is day to day, so the Niners avoided a serious injury there. And then Jimmy Garoppolo obviously had the press conference. He didn't play in the second half. We know because Lance played. That was the big thing from the Seattle game. That essentially made the Seattle game more interesting than it was because that game was so depressing to watch for the most part. But Lance made it a little more interesting. Yeah. But we might even see Lance start on Sunday because Jimmy Garoppolo ended up having a calf contusion, which is basically just a calf bruise. And there's a good chance that he could be good to go for Sunday. And it sounds like Kyle, if Jimmy is good to go, will be playing Jimmy Garoppolo. So now some people have some conspiracies. Is Kyle saying this to the Cardinals prepare for Jimmy Garoppolo? Then Lance comes out there. I don't buy that because at this point, every team is preparing for both quarterbacks at this point because they know Lance will be out there in some capacity. Shanahan has not been, he's been putting him out there at times, so teams have to prepare for both guys. So I don't buy that. That's going to give them any kind of competitive advantage if they hide the fact that they might want to start Lance. So I think Kyle is being serious and seeing everything he's done to this point. I 99.9%, am 99.9% sure that Jimmy Garoppolo is probably going to start if he's healthy enough to go on Sunday.
Which doesn't make any sense to me because he was getting guys injured, like I said to you earlier, getting guys injured as the game progressed. Except for that first drive, the Seahawks caught on. You could evidently see it. They caught on, and they were completely stopping us. I know Trey, we can get to this later, and this is a jam-packed Trey Lance show, but just real quick, I know Trey scored some of those points in garbage time, but, I mean, he gave that team a spark, especially when Jalen Moore was was the left tackle. And so you'd have an edge rusher coming from that side every time, but he would scramble out of it for 10 yards. So I don't know why that would make sense to me, but yeah.
We'll get into it a little bit later. I know we have a whole show dedicated around Trey Lance, but to say the least, I don't agree that Shanahan should be going back to Jimmy Garoppolo. With the way the season started, I'm not saying Niners should throw in the towel. That's not what I'm saying. But the way things have been going, I don't think this is Kyle's best chance to transition to Trey Lance, and he's about to waste it. So,
right. The other one, Trent Williams, did we say? I think.
Yeah, he said today. So we'll see. And then I think Mitchell is expected to be out of his non-contact jersey this week. So
that's good.
Elijah Mitchell
but honestly,
should be
Sermon,
available for Sunday. But
yeah.
Sermon looked better.
Sorry.
Yesterday. He looked a lot better yesterday.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. He wasn't the reason why the 49ers lost that game. He actually averaged like 4.7 a carry. So
yeah, he was good. Yesterday he was a lot better. He improved, and the blocking was better too. So that was a big part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so is that basically all the injuries? We got Trent Williams, Robbie Gold, Jimmy
Those
Garoppolo.
are the big ones from what I remember seeing. Those were the main ones that people really care about. So
because Kinlaw came back in.
Yeah, Kinlaw, he had the cramps. He came back in. He just cramped up trying to chase Russell Wilson. That's a tough thing for somebody his size to do. I mean, he wasn't going to catch him, but he was trying.
His legs, he was going like this as fast as it could take him. He was like,
I mean, he was trying, but there's no way you're catching Wilson as a 300-pound defensive lineman. There's just no way.
It kind of reminded me, I don't know if you can say the same thing, and I don't want to wish this upon anybody, but like the Ronald Blair, remember in that game?
I did just think of that when Blair was trying to, wrap up. He tore his ACL trying to.
So I'm glad it wasn't
Wilson.
like that.
That's a tough thing to do for a guy that big. It's just tough.
Yeah. So we can get, I mean, this is a perfect, I kind of alluded to it earlier, what we're going to talk about next, but will Jimmy Garoppolo be held out of for the rest of the season, even if he is not injured?
So, I mean, like we just said, it sounds like he's probably going to play. I'm just going to assume he's going to play. I'm not going to assume he's playing Trey Lance. But if it were up to me, I would most definitely have taken this chance to transition to Trey Lance and just go ahead with him the rest of the way. Because this offense has been struggling the last 3 weeks with Jimmy Garoppolo playing quarterback. And there's no sign that it's really going to get much better. The last 2 weeks, the Niners are playing two of the worst defenses in the league. And both weeks, they struggled. Outside of that first drive from Seattle against the Seahawks, which was a great drive to start off really fast. But after that, I don't know what happened, but it was all gone. And I know Jimmy said that he got stepped on the first drive, and that's when he hurt his calf, and it was tightening up on him throughout the rest of the game. But still, I mean, just throwing into traffic and just guys, for some reason, it wasn't really getting open. The interception, the play call to have Jaquiz Patrick try to execute a trick play a guy's been brought in 2 weeks ago, like that takes a lot of practice to pull off. And you're having a guy that you brought in a couple of weeks ago try to pull off a trick play. That felt unnecessary and just a little too much. Having your punter try to attempt field goals from 40 yards out, that didn't seem too smart. I mean, it's a combination of like this offense looks like it's too hard to get yards. And I don't know if that's Jimmy's fault. I don't know if that's Kyle's play calling, but one of those two have to change. Either Kyle's got to find a way to call a better game for Jimmy, or Jimmy just isn't capable of unlocking this offense, in a manner where they can move the ball down the field consistently, and he needs to not be starting anymore. And that's just kind of where I'm at with it. And at this point, this is the perfect way to get Trey Lance in there. You can sell to your locker room that, hey, Jimmy, isn't ready to go. He's not 100%, so we're just going to play Trey Lance because he is ready to go. He's 100%. We can do everything we need to do with Trey Lance. You can get him out there. And if Lance plays well or gives you a good chance to win a game, even if you do lose, if you're competitive, you can sell to your team that, hey, guys, look, we're able to do a Trey Lance. He'll only get better from here on out. Because we saw that just in the one half that he had to play. It was ugly to start, but he settled in and things start looking good towards the end. I think that proved to me that Lance just needs to play. I don't know if sitting him is going to be the best thing for him. I think playing is what's going to help him the most, and we're kind of seeing that. I think this week every rookie quarterback had their best week. Trevor Lawrence was good on Thursday night. Zach Wilson got a W
that's true.
This week. Justin Fields was way better than he was last week, and Mac Jones was keeping up with Tampa Bay last night. So we saw all these guys, all these rookies who were people like, oh, we see how they're struggling when they start, and 3 weeks later they're looking a lot better. Because they're playing and they're improving. So this offense is stuck. It does not look good. Like this offense does not look good. And this is the Kyle Shanahan coach team. And it's like, there's no excuse for this. Like, something has to change, and it has to start at quarterback. And I don't know why Kyle would go back to Jimmy when you can see what Trey provides you. Like we saw in the second half what Trey can do for this offense. He's only going to get better the more he plays. Just put the guy out there, let him learn the job. You'll get better as the weeks go on and see what happens. Like, we know what Jimmy is at this point. We've seen it for 3-4 straight weeks now. He's the same guy he's always been, maybe even a little bit worse in some areas. So, I mean, we know what Jimmy is. So let's go ahead and put Trey out there, and let's develop the rookie.
And the thing that is so familiar when Trey Lance was in is, remember 2019 when they say that they're getting 2019 vibes, but remember 2019 when Jimmy would find guys open all the time? Well, Trey Lance found, now that was a busted coverage by Seattle, completely boneheaded move by Seattle's corners. But you did see Deebo Samuel get wide open on the, was it right sideline? So there's something familiar with getting him open, because teams do get freaked out by Trey Lance. Instead, Jimmy Garoppolo, you're not seeing that anymore. And it could be, and we'll get to this later, it could be Kyle Shanahan's play calling, or it just could be that the league is caught up to him. And obviously, this team isn't as good as Super Bowl. And I was looking at this Super Bowl roster, the Super Bowl roster in 2019, and when they're getting 2019 vibes and everything else, that defense was so much better than it was. And I'm like, if that's what it takes to get to the Super Bowl, if that defense, if we have to be that good to get to the Super Bowl, there's no way that's happening. And so you need another dynamic. You need another dynamic player in that system, and I think Trey brings it. And again, sitting him again, you bring him in and then you sit him a few weeks later, doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because especially, let's say Jimmy Garoppolo comes back for the bye, right? Comes back after the bye. Those are arguably the two easiest games to put Trey in, because you've got Indianapolis and Chicago after the bye, I think. So those would be the two easiest games to put Trey in. It would be easy. And so why would you bring back Jimmy Garoppolo after the bye? Doesn't make sense, especially if Trey is playing better.
Yeah, it's not even like just – I don't know, man. I don't know why you would go back to Jimmy. I mean, this team hasn't even looked great with Jimmy playing so far. They struggled against the Eagles. The Eagles got washed the last 2 weeks, like absolutely destroyed the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we struggled that entire game.
Yeah.
And then
that's true.
Green Bay defense not too good, and we're struggling throughout the whole game. Seattle, worst defense in the league, and you're struggling. This is what Jimmy out there. And I understand Kyle's thought process coming in was, I'm going to put the guy out there that gives us the best chance to win. And going week one, sure. Jimmy, that's fair to think that he gives you the best chance to win. But now that you've seen it, this is your chance to give at least Trey a week, at least one. At least let him get a start where you got a game plan going in. And
then you have
Trey was just thrown out there.
Yeah.
Trey was thrown out there in a divisional game where the offense hadn't been getting much going, and he had no idea he was going until right before halftime ended, because that's when Garoppolo came to Kyle and said, hey, I can't go. And so then Trey's out there just out of nowhere, and he gets one drive. They run all run plays. Seattle gets the ball. They score. And then Cannon fumbles, and then they score again. Yeah. And all of a sudden, Trey Lance's second drive, he's down 14 points.
Yep.
Like, Trey didn't get a real chance in this game, And then Kyle after the game saying, hey, the game plan wasn't for Trey Lance. Like, so listen, Jimmy has the calf thing. You have an excuse to at least play Trey Lance for 1 week and see what happens, because so far this offense has been getting it done. And the Arizona Cardinals are up next. You're on the road, and the Cardinals are red hot right now. They just whooped up on the Rams, who whooped up on the Buccaneers week before.
The Rams, I don't know if you saw my power rankings last week, but they were number one. They were my number one team.
They're number one in a lot of power rankings. They were like, because they just whooped up on the Buccaneers. They were, and it's like, okay, this is the best team in the league. And then the Cardinals come in, and I know it's a divisional game, but Kyler Murray is MVP candidate right now. He is unbelievable.
He could win it.
I mean, something's got to change, man. And if you're going to go back into a game where nothing is working, your offense has been stagnant for far too long, and you're still going to go back to what hasn't been working. You saw there was things to build on with Trey Lance. I know he wasn't perfect out there. He was missing his checkdowns. I understand. He wasn't handling pressure well early on. I understand. But on that last drive, I think he showed enough where it's like, okay, I think if we put a game plan together to utilize all of his skill sets, to get him out on the move, to use his mobility, that it gives you a better chance than what's been happening. Because the offense has been horrific to watch for a Kyle Shanahan-led team.
And here's the
Jimmy
thing.
Garoppolo, I'll let you go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Jimmy Garoppolo, people were thinking about 2019. The league didn't know what Jimmy was in 2019. He played 9 games. The league did not know what Jimmy Garoppolo was, so he was still a surprise.
Same with Jared Goff.
Now they know. Same with Jared Goff. He was still much, unknown commodity at the time. But now they know what Jimmy Garoppolo is. He cannot attack you outside the numbers. He cannot beat you down the field. So what do? You just defend the middle of the field, 15 yards and in. And when you can do that, you can stop this offense.
Yeah.
And that's why the offense has been struggling, because you're limited, way too limited. And it's only so much you can do.
And we know Kyle can scheme up all of these good plays to get people open, because he did it yesterday. So why isn't he?
And even Kyle seems like he just is unsure. There's some play calls that are really questionable, like just not, like last week, not going for it on 4th and 1 when you finally got a drive going and you're down 10 points and you don't go for it. And then the 4th and 2, a jet sweep to Debo to the weak side of the field where you don't have a numbers advantage. Like some of these play calls, like he's scared with both guys to really get this offense going. Something has got to change with Kyle's tendencies as a play caller and at quarterback to get this offense going, because so far it's just not getting it done.
Yeah, spot on. We could stay on this topic forever, but we have other topics to go to. So is it fine with you to move on, or because we have time, we'll probably get to this later too. So this is just good segue into the next topic. Is there questions on how Kyle Shanahan is developing Trey?
Well, he's not. He's not developing Trey right now because he hasn't been getting any first team reps. He's just playing on the scout team, and that's not doing things that they're going to do in this offense. And the only thing he's working on is just a little package he has for him every game. So he's not developing him right now. It's like Kyle has no plan at all to play Lance at any point in the season, to really, really play him, not just talking out there for 2 or 3 plays a game. They were talking about a 2 quarterback system in training camp. There was a full article on what Kyle was going to do with Garoppolo and Lance. And I guess that just got scrapped or something, because that's not what we've been seeing.
And every time he puts him in, they ask him, will this become a normal thing? And he says no. Right. So
and he was saying, he was full blown, hey, we're planning on using both guys. And you're not really using both guys. And then when Trey Lance finally gets out there, the first drive, you run 5 straight run plays. You just do not. I understand his first throw wasn't great. It was not. It was behind Kittle into the dirt. He gave him no shot. But I mean, he came out and it was he just didn't want him to have to throw it all. He just came in, he ran it 5 straight times. Surprise, surprise, doesn't work because it's predictable. And I don't know, he just doesn't. It seems like he doesn't want Lance to be out there. He's not ready to play him yet. And he's not doing much to get him ready to play in case he has to. And he's just treating him like your normal back, like he's Nick Mullins, and it's just your normal backup quarterback. No, this is the guy who is supposed to be the future of your franchise. Why isn't there a better plan for him to be prepared?
Yeah,
and I know Trey's doing the best he can, but it looked like he looked so lost out there to start the game until he's able to use his legs and make plays. He was. I gotta wait till the All 22 comes out on Game Pass for me to watch what he was seeing downfield. But there was a lot of hesitation, and there was times that he ran into sacks. Obviously, you saw the first 2 throws he sailed Debo by a mile, and then he obviously on the bootleg threw it into the dirt, gave Kittle no chance to catch the ball. It seemed like he just maybe he was amped up. Maybe he was, he was just excited to be out there and playing consecutive plays, an actual drive. But he hasn't been getting any first team reps. The only thing he's been getting, maybe practicing, is just he's got to play to get better. And Kyle doesn't have any plan for him to play, really. Like, going out there for a quarterback draw or a read option like 1 or 2 times a game is not really him playing. That's not him playing. That's like just using him as a gadget. And that's what I didn't want for Trey Lance. I want him to actually, like, this is the guy this is your franchise quarterback. This is what you drafted him. You traded 3 first-round picks for this. And Jimmy is struggling, and you're not even preparing Trey Lance to take over in case Jimmy just is not giving the best chance to win.
I have 2 questions. So Game Pass, don't you pay for it or something like that? Where would you get that? Because I want to start, like, maybe not this year, but I do want it, like, how Game Pass, how
it's $100 a year.
What?
So you just go to NFL.com. You just click on Game Pass and you subscribe. It's $100 a year. Interface is not the greatest for what you're paying for, but I mean, you get access to all 22. That's really all this is really good for. But and then you get to watch all the they have the condensed version of the games and the full broadcast of all the games after they get finished. But it's mostly useful for the all 22, so you can see the entire field and see what players are looking at.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's worth it if you want to, like, be able to see everything and have a more what's the word? I guess full access to the whole field, so you can have a more objective opinion. So you're not basing things off of just seeing the line of scrimmage, because that's all you can see on TV copy is just basically the line play, and then the quarterback, just his move. That's all you can really see. So all 22 helps you see everything, so you can see coverage, receivers running routes, who's open, who's not open, and just that kind of thing. So I mean, I think it's worth it if you want to, like, learn more and see more. But it's $100, so you just gotta know that going in.
Yeah, and then the second question, that at first, my initial reaction, this is back to football, my initial reaction to that 49ers, when he got taken out, Jimmy Garoppolo, my initial reaction, he doesn't look hurt. Was that an excuse to take him out of the game and bench him? Because Kyle probably was getting pretty, how do you say it, frustrated with Jimmy Garoppolo and wasn't happy. Do you think that was an excuse to bench him, or do you think or were they just bluffing?
No, that wasn't an excuse. The way they came out with Trey was not like okay, Jimmy, you're not getting it done. Trey, let's go. That wasn't like that first drive was like, okay, Trey, I kind of have to throw you out here. I didn't want to put you out here yet. So let's just run the ball 5 straight times and hopefully it works. And it didn't. So the way they came out, you would think, like, okay, if there's somebody who thinks he can do with Trey that you can do with Jimmy, he would come out, maybe play action or a bootleg, and then throw the ball down the field, take a shot on the first play, something like that.
Like they did against the Chiefs.
Yeah, like something where you're like, okay, I think we can beat this team deep. Jimmy, you can't get it done. Trey, come out, first play play action, deep shot, take advantage of this bad defense, this bad secondary. But that's not what they did. They ran the ball 5 straight times, and then Kyle would seem reluctant to have to make him throw until he had to. So I don't think the plan was for Jimmy to get benched and then Trey to come in. I think Jimmy was legit hurt, and they had to put Trey out there before they were ready to.
Yeah, that was something that, like, I was listening to Haberman and Middlecoff, and they cleared up a few things. At first, I thought that was an excuse to bench him because I really think that offense was trash, absolute trash. Couldn't stand that. It was the worst. And so
offense is way too hard for the Niners. It's way too hard for them to have the genius Kyle calling the shots. That's just that's just the thing about it. Like, the offense should be the best part of this team all the time, with Kyle calling the plays. Like, Kyle is offensive mastermind. You build this team to your head coach's strengths. Kyle is the offensive mastermind. Like, this offense should be taken off, and they're healthy on the outside. They don't have Mostert and Mitchell right now, but they got Ayuk, they got Kittle, they got Debo. You said Trent was a beast in camp. Where's he been? Trent Sherfield. I mean,
I have no idea. That's the thing. Like, he played a few snaps, But that's the other thing too, is like he's not incorporating. We'll get to that because I think. Well, I guess no. Let's talk about that right now. Brandon Ayuk, like he's not even getting incorporated. It's basically George Kittle and Deebo Samuel.
He said Trent Sherfield was playing better than Ayuk in camp, and that's why Sherfield was playing over Ayuk. Well, now we're not seeing Sherfield get really any play, and now Ayuk's back out there, and he was a part of the game plan last week, but this week he wasn't. I don't know if Ayuk struggles on Kyle. I don't know if it's on Ayuk. I don't know if it's on the quarterbacks. I don't know what it is, but this offense has way too much talent to be struggling the way they are. There's no reason for it.
Yeah. You're completely right. And I mean, Trey Lance's development, I feel like he's not even trying. That's the other thing. So, but we'll get to the next thing.
I mean it's obvious to me that
he's not. Kyle Shanahan's not trying. Yeah.
Kyle is trying to win games now, and because Trey, objectively Trey doesn't provide you that chance right now because there's little things that I think Jimmy does in his offense that Kyle wants from his quarterbacks that Trey isn't doing yet. And so I mean it's fair to feel that way, but at the same time, it's not working. You're 2-2.
Yeah.
Like you could have been 2-2 with Trey Lance starting still. So, and Trey Lance would be better off right now than he was, to start Trey Lance, if he started the first 3 games, he'd be in a better spot today than he is right now.
Right.
The rest of the guys. Like this week, like I said, this has been the best week for all the rookie quarterbacks. This was their best games because they've been playing and they've been maturing and learning. So 3 weeks in, Lance will be in a better spot, and maybe your offense is producing more than they are right now.
And you do get a 2-week break after this game. So you if you do let him learn, that will also catch him up a ton. I do expect a lot of the rookie quarterbacks to be more developed after their bye weeks, just because you get a kind of a chance to catch up on things and the playbook in a 2-week stretch instead of a 1-week stretch.
Yeah, so. I mean, either way, Kyle... Like Jimmy had to come in before he was ready when he first came here in 2017, and Kyle was able to put together a playbook that's good enough for him to win games.
Yeah,
like Kyle had us thinking Nick Mullins was okay, not everyone, but he had people thinking Nick Mullins was a starting quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean, he won a game with CJ Beathard playing quarterback. He beat the Cardinals, who were in the playoff hunt last year with CJ Beathard playing quarterback, and he made 2 throws the whole game, and they still won. Like. Kyle has been capable of putting together game plans with quarterbacks who are able to run the full playbook. Like, even if Trey can't run the full playbook yet, you can do enough to win games on offense. And we saw, like, the way he can escape the pocket and extend plays, that also helps you out in games, bails you out when things break down, or maybe he's just not seeing it correctly. He can still make plays with his legs. No one else on this team, no one else that Kyle has had in San Francisco can do that.
Right. So, and I mean, let's put Jimmy Garoppolo in that position, 2 4th and 10s, or whatever it was when Jimmy Garoppolo.
It was 1 4th down when he scrambled to his left and found Debo, and the second 1 4th and 10, no one's open. Maybe no one's really open,
but
so he's able to scramble for a first down.
All of those plays, especially the 4th and 10, and especially that one time where he ran for 8 to set up like a 4th and 2, and I think they didn't convert. But all of those plays would have been sacked. The problem with Jimmy Garoppolo is that this is what a lot of people don't realize is with Jalen Moore as your left tackle, Jimmy Garoppolo is done. He's over. Like, it's done.
Luckily, that won't be the case because then Trent...
Like, Trey Lance probably played the best any quarterback the 49ers could have played behind that terrible offensive line. So...
I mean, they put up more points with Trey Lance in that game than they did with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, even though if it was in trash time or garbage time.
Yeah, I know blown coverage and then last drive, but still, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, it feels. Kyle just seems like he doesn't have any desire to put Trey Lance out there right now, and I don't really know why, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I know Kyle is trying to win games, and that's all he's concerned about, but. Come on. You traded 3 first-round picks to get Trey Lance here. Jimmy isn't doing enough. If you want to start him to start the season, fine. But Jimmy has been outright terrible, but at the same time, he's not really helping you either.
Yeah.
So let's just get out there. Let's develop him. Go through the growing pains. It's not you might lose some games because of some rookie mistakes, but that's just how it's going to be. I mean, we've been losing games anyway because of mistakes made by Jimmy Garoppolo. So, I mean,
right.
What's really the difference? Except for the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo is not developing and Trey Lance will.
So not sure if we've already went over this. We probably have. Do you still want to do this? Who is the most to blame in the loss?
Two things.
We can do anything.
First half offense, second half special teams. Those are the two reasons. Defense for the most part was fine in this game. 5 straight 3-and-outs in the first half. 5 straight.
Oh, they're the heroes. The only thing that they did wrong was the pass interference, but by then they were wearing down the defense.
That game should not have been for the way the defense played in the first half. That game should not have been 7-7.
Oh, it should have been.
It should have been at the least
14-7 to 17-7.
Yeah, it should have been in that range. It should at the least. It should have been at least up by a touchdown and a half.
Yeah.
So I'm not really blaming the defense. Played good in this game. So it's special teams, Trenton Cannon really, and the offense in the first half couldn't capitalize on the defense playing outstanding football.
The thing that I didn't get, I don't think any 49ers fan didn't get, is why didn't Trenton Cannon just go down when he fumbled it first?
Oh yeah, I mean
really,
that's just first one when he grabbed the ball and rolled into the end zone on the punt return on the punt coverage. Like, why didn't you try to toss the ball out or down or just down it? He grabbed it and rolled into the end zone. Like, okay, and then when you muff the punt and you get it back, that's it. You saved the play. That's it. You don't need any more. Just stay down at that point. And he tried to get up and I guess get more yards, but whew.
Yeah, if you go through the scenarios, if that fumble wouldn't have happened, let's say we even take off a little bit of time. We tie it up with the Debo long touchdown. But even let's say we didn't even score on that drive that Trenton Cannon fumbled. You're
still only down 7.
You're still only down, and you have a chance to give your team a defense a field where they can still defend the Seahawks.
Right.
It's not red zone right away.
The whole field and not just be in the red zone your first snap.
With Trenton Cannon. Yeah, so that's another thing. One of those plays could have changed the scenario. 1,000 of the mistakes that we made yesterday changed the scenario, but one, if we would have just made one less mistake, we could have won this game.
Yeah, I'm not. You can't dog the defense from this game. You can't.
Oh no, not at all.
Way too many mistakes from everyone else to dog the defense. Defense did their part.
Sleeper good person. I mean, Emmanuel Mosley seems like he's
he's been fantastic
growing every day. And Drake Kirkpatrick, even though some people want to hate on him, he actually didn't do horrible.
No, yeah, he was solid. That PI was. He's probably one. I think there's a stat that says he has 40 something PI calls in his career, so that's a lot. So he's that's just kind of what happens with him is he grabs a bit too much, but he was fine. The Niners corners, for as much as we've been, panicking about cornerback, they haven't been too bad. And if Verrett was still healthy, they'd have been really good with Verrett and Mosley. They've been in a really good spot with those two. But unfortunately, Verrett's going for the year. So
that's I don't know. I think we'll probably get stomped by the Cardinals, but I do think this is going to be a sleeper game next week because, the corners were better. I don't know. We could have the thing is I was coming into this 3-game stretch, thinking we could win the next 2 out of the 3 games. Right? So
they should have won these last 2 games. They should have won these last 2 games.
Absolutely.
The Cardinal game now, listen, as much
I was actually saying I was actually saying the 49ers were going to lose.
To me, it doesn't matter how optimistic you are. There's no way you can feel confident going into this game against the Cardinals that the Niners are going to win. There's no way. I don't care who's starting quarterback. There's no way. The Cardinals are playing too good right now. The Niners, they got a lot of stuff to figure out. So, and they're on the road, man. I don't know. There's no I'm not saying the Niners can't win, but there's no way we should be confident that they will win. There's no way.
The 49ers are more familiar with the Arizona Cardinals stadium than they are with themselves, with their stadium.
Yeah, they were there for a lot of games last year. And the Niners have lost their last 9 home games?
Out of
That's
10.
Ridiculous.
That is They're better. They have a better away record than they do at home. It's crazy.
You gotta defend home. You gotta defend home field. Like, there's no way you should be losing. You can't lose home games. You can't.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I think we do have. Wait, did we already go through this one? Top 5? No, we didn't.
So,
no. Yeah.
No, it's hard to answer this right now. It's extremely difficult.
Has Trey Lance looked the best out of the top 5 QBs drafted in this class?
Trey got 1/2, so it's really hard to say that
now.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of promise from there, but to say who's looked the best, I mean, they've all had their lows. I mean, I guess really Mac Jones had the most complete games. So I guess you could say Mac looks the best right now out of the guys, but I think we kind of thought that because he's the most NFL style quarterback, in the pocket, stays in the system. I think he's in the best position to look good early. But I mean, we won't get a chance to really evaluate that this week because I don't think Trey's going to play. I mean, I think.
Wait, Jimmy, do you think actually Jimmy Garoppolo will start?
No, I think Jimmy will start. I really do. I really do think Jimmy will start because I think Kyle Shanahan really does not want to play Trey Lance yet.
Huh.
I think that's the case. And I know everyone going into this game is thinking this is the Trey week. But first of all, number one, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to push to play. Number one. That's number one. Because if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't play and Trey Lance has a good game, his job's lost.
It's over.
That's it. And Jimmy can't let that happen. And that's why Jimmy was so upset in that press conference because he knows that if he gets injured and Trey plays and he doesn't get the job back, that Jimmy might not start again in the league. Like, that might be it. So
that is true.
Jimmy's going to push to start this week. And it sounds like, and Shanahan said if Jimmy can go, Jimmy's going to start. So I am expecting Jimmy Garoppolo to start. And I think everyone should expect Jimmy Garoppolo to start. And if Lance starts, I'll be surprised. I'll be happy, but I'll be surprised at this point.
And you think by this time Kyle Shanahan's like, no, stay out. Like, stay out.
Yeah, but the way that they came out at halftime told me that he didn't want to put Trey Lance out there. And his comments too, it's like, oh yeah, Trey looked like the
typical rookie.
Your typical rookie quarterback. He looked like the number 2 quarterback. And I'm just like, okay, yeah. Kyle, I mean, yeah, he did. But at the same time, Kyle wouldn't have said that if he probably felt like he wanted to play him next week. I feel like. So
he honestly, we need to see it more, but he did kind of look more efficient than all of the rookie quarterbacks. That's the only thing.
I think action, he looked more comfortable than most of the guys, at least towards the end of that game.
Right. And he didn't, there was a few times where it could have gotten picked off, but for the most part, he didn't really, I think it was pretty vanilla, so you can't really say anything. But I mean, that's a good thing. If he's the most efficient, why wouldn't, that ties in again to what we were saying earlier. Again, this is why I wanted this topic in here, because we were breaking down all the quarterbacks a few weeks ago. Is why wouldn't Kyle Shanahan if he's more efficient than all of the top 5 quarterbacks that were drafted in this class, you're doing good. That's really good because, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, he always has wanted Kyle Shanahan, a guy that was efficient. And if Trey Lance can bring you that efficiency better than any of the quarterbacks that Mac Jones, for example, Mac Jones right now has 5 picks? He's not efficient. So
here's why Kyle probably isn't going to play Trey, because he's missing checkdowns. He's probably missing a couple of reads downfield that Kyle feels like is there. And he's inaccurate still. And his mechanics kind of got out of whack a little bit at times in that game, where he's kind of dipping the ball too low or just too much of a wind up.
Higher. And to be fair, let's not vanilla this, guys, because so far from my mouth and mostly, I don't know, maybe just from my mouth, it's been Trey looked great. No, he was 9 for 18. He did have his bumps and he did miss over the top a lot. He didn't look that great, but he did almost look better than Jimmy. We have hope. It was his first half of football. So yes, I've been sugarcoating it, but he has been. It's as simple
as Trey Lance will actually get better throughout the year. Exactly. Jimmy Garoppolo will not. Jimmy is who he is. Trey Lance will get better throughout the year. So you play him now, the better he'll be later in the year. And if you're still in the playoff race, you got a chance to make something happen.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
The way the offense looks right now, you can't even guarantee Niners make the playoffs with Jimmy Garoppolo. No. And that's not even being negative. That's just being straight up. Like the way the offense looks right now with Jimmy Garoppolo, you can't guarantee to make the playoffs.
Because let's quickly look through. Let's say the Seahawks are a borderline playoff team. I think that's about right. Because anytime they play a decent defense and a good offense, they lose. So
they got 5 more games against these guys in a division.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not even counting. The Vikings were like a much tougher challenge than you would have thought. I mean, I know they're 1-3, but they should at least be 3-1 right now. In my opinion, because the fumble by Dalvin Cook, obviously in week 1, was a missed call by the refs because he didn't actually fumble. The missed kick against Arizona could be 3-1 right now if they make that. If the Vikings make that kick, and then obviously they just dog Seattle because they make their defense look terrible, and then just this schedule as easy as it seemed going into the year. There's a lot of teams in here that can give them some trouble.
Yeah, and quickly running through it, you got Cardinals, bye, Colts, Bears, Rams, I think.
It's Colts, Bears, Cardinals, Rams, then the Jaguars, the Vikings. That's not an easy game. Seahawks again in Seattle. The Bengals, even they don't look easy. Like they don't look like even they're like
they're not.
I know
they're
not like
team.
I wouldn't say they're a contender, but they're not easy. The Falcons, I mean,
they're better than the Eagles and the Lions, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Bengals.
Yeah, and then the Titans, obviously, they're not going to be easy.
Yeah,
I mean, there's just some games in here that I know.
I can still be winning 9 games.
Yeah, it's just they got to win a divisional game. They got to win divisional games, and like that's the thing. Like their division, that's the biggest part. That's the biggest part because they got 5 more. Like even if because they got the hardest division in the league, so that's 5 hard games. Like they got 5 more very difficult games starting this week, and then the Colts. They should be the Colts. Colts don't seem that good, but that's not a gimme. The Bears. I mean, we'll see who's playing.
Dolphins who are okay.
Yeah, I think. I mean, they should beat the Bears. Then you got the Cardinals again, and we'll see how the first game goes. But even then, that's not going to be a gimme. Rams. I mean, the Niners should make the playoffs with the schedule, but it's just so many games where you're just not really sure.
And here's the thing: even if we would have, this is why it was so key. We beat Seattle, okay? We're second in the division because the Rams lose to Arizona, so they would have been third. We're second in the division. Doesn't even matter if you win to the Cardinals. Let's say we still beat the Seahawks, okay? Cardinals, then so now you're 3-2 going into the bye, right? Now instead of 2-3. And then so let's say you beat the Colts and Bears coming out. Now you're 5-2. Now you could be more like 4-3. And you're last in the division instead of second. That's the way the NFL goes, and that's what was so key about this game. Even if they didn't win the Green Bay game, this game was a must-win game. There was a lot on the line.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. It's a Week 4 game. We're like, man, you gotta win this one, and they don't. But I mean, yeah, it's just. I'm not saying they're going to miss the playoffs. I'm not guaranteeing that. But at the same time, like the way they've been going, I mean, it's a lot of season left. A lot of things can happen. So, I mean, I'm not going to say season's over. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But the way they're playing right now, you can't confidently say this team's going to the playoffs. Definitely can't say Super Bowl. But you're still on the fence of saying this team, they could miss the playoffs the way they're playing.
That's the thing. So, I mean,
we'll see. Okay, so we'll see. If they play Jimmy this week and they lose again, bye week coming up, Kyle's got time to look at it and really think. So
yeah, that's
we'll see. And then if they win, we'll probably shut up for a week.
Yeah, you've always like the 49ers. I feel like the 49ers media and fans have always been pretty relaxed on the 49ers part. Okay, we're building it. Some other organizations, if you lose one game, you're getting the fire. Like maybe New England, there's a few organizations. Philadelphia has always been a pretty rough organization. 49ers have never been in a rough organization, but that might change after a few weeks.
At least not from their national media.
No, exactly.
Yeah, because they don't get a lot of heat from national media. They really pamper this team. Unlike other, teams and other media,
Cowboys,
Philadelphia, they're rough on people.
Philadelphia, you've got
New England, obviously.
Patriots, Bucks,
Yeah,
wherever
they
Tom
were
Brady
so
is.
tough on Cam during his tenure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, they don't get that much, and now it's starting to switch. Even Matt Maiocco is like, this is like they should be playing Trey Lance and developing him. Like even he's saying that at this point. So we'll see. They lose this game. Kyle's got to go with Trey. If he does play Jimmy in this game, if they lose to the Cardinals, I mean, you're 2-3. Come on, you gotta play Trey.
Well, that's Kobe's hot take. Is Jimmy Garoppolo is playing this week? I did not expect you to say that.
I'm confident he's playing because I don't get the impression that Kyle wants to play Trey Lance yet. So if there's any way Jimmy can play, he's gonna put him out there. And then if Jimmy doesn't feel good again, he'll just take him out and put Trey in.
Yeah.
Or if Jimmy gets hurt, or if Jimmy, even if Jimmy plays poorly, I still don't think he puts Trey in. I think Jimmy will have to get injured again. And I'm not wishing it on him. Obviously, I'm happy that Jimmy's okay and there's no serious injury. But at the same time, it just seems like Kyle won't play Trey Lance unless he has no choice but to.
I don't want to bring this up, but what does this remind you of? About the same time last year.
The Dolphins?
Dolphins. You read my mind.
Yeah, this is the one thing I didn't want is the Ryan Fitzpatrick Tua Tagovailoa thing. And
but
this was what we always referenced.
Sense though, because Jimmy Garoppolo was forced back last year and he's forced back this year. What is that? I mean, we've seen what he does when he's not injured. I mean, even that last game last year against the Rams, he could barely throw the ball. If he's really at that status, where he was against the Rams and Dolphins, why would you start him?
Anything like the Dolphins game, like why are you even putting him back out there? But
and this team's way better than the Dolphins. I'm serious. If Jimmy Garoppolo starts, this could be a Dolphins blowout, like it was last year.
Not even like. This might be thinking way too far ahead, but if Jimmy somehow ends up with a major injury, like let's say like his Achilles is a bit weakened because of this, and he ruptures it in the game, if he can't pass the physical once the season ends, he's going to be guaranteed that $23 million next year, and they can't get it off the books, and that's an absolute nightmare. They'd be stuck.
That's got to be
with Jimmy for another year, and he wouldn't be able to play. And Trey Lance is starting. You don't have $23 million cleared up to pay.
Yeah, and next year they're going to need it.
I'm not putting that in the air. That's the worst case scenario. Obviously, you don't want that to happen, but that's kind of the risk if they're forcing Jimmy back out there on a bad calf, and he ends up rupturing his Achilles. Then, it's just a bruise. It's not a strain. That's where you really be concerned.
Yeah.
But just saying, if that kind of thing were to happen, that would be absolute worst case scenario, and the Niners would get slandered for going back out.
But also they need it. They need it next year because remember their picks.
Yeah,
they don't have a lot of them, so they
free agency is where you're going to hope to make some moves because you have to do it with draft picks,
especially with the corner position. You need to pay somebody big, but here's the thing: Asante Samuel was a gem in the second round. You're not going to find a corner like that in the second round.
Oh my god, yeah, it's just.
Okay, yeah, I know. We don't want to get into that. We don't want to get into that.
Oh my god, yeah, all I gotta say is how many people were saying corner throughout the entire offseason, and they did bare minimum. Felt like I know they brought back Ferret. Cool, he had a great year last year. He got him back on a cheap 1-year deal, but what's after that? Because you couldn't have full confidence he'd make it the whole season. You couldn't because he hadn't done it in so long, and last year may have been the anomaly, and what was a weird year anyway. 2020 was a year of all kinds of madness. Like I wouldn't believe anything that happened in 2020. It's you know what? That's just an outlier.
Yeah.
No fans in stadiums. I moved out, not even in California for the rest of the season. If Verrett somehow makes it their whole season, it's all right, cool. We're bringing back. He played well, but we got to have somebody, that we bring in that can be a star for this team in case you go out for any reason. And no slight at Mosley. They brought him back. He's been great to start the season. We'll see if he keeps it up because last year he wasn't very great. He got cooked by DK Metcalf in the Seattle game. He got cooked by DeAndre Hopkins in the first game of the year, and then he had injury problems throughout the most of the year. But
when we were, Jason Verrett, we were kind of all a little bit delusional to think that
He would make it the whole year.
Yeah, I mean, I think Grant Cohn brought that up. Like, why were we thinking that? I mean,
it's not trying to be mean to the guy. You know, obviously you wish the best for him. At the same time, that's just a circumstance. You know, he's missed that much time. It's not an accident. You know, it's kind of just something you have to be wary of, and they didn't plan well for it. And now you see they're bringing up every corner that they can off the street, trying to patch that last spot up, and hasn't been going. And then, not to mention, Ambry Thomas not ready to go, and then Lenore obviously
they don't trust him at all. That's why they. No, he did not. That's why they played Kirkpatrick over him and Deontay Johnson.
Yeah,
Skrine will probably go next week. It's going to be, I guarantee you, Kirkpatrick. So what's
up with that? Like,
Kirkpatrick,
honestly, and defense played well, so it's fine. Yeah. But at the same time,
Kirkpatrick, Mosley, and Skrine will probably go next week. Which Skrine's not a horrible. Now this is going down another rabbit trail, but Skrine's actually not a horrible corner. He actually, now he's slow and he's old, but I didn't know if you know this, but he was an All-Pro like 6 years ago.
Yeah, man, that's a while ago, though. I mean, my thing is, like, he wasn't on a team for a reason. That's my thing with guys like that. It's like he was kind of like he's like an emergency guy. Like, we just kind of need a body to put out here because we got nobody else that we trust. And yeah, the fact they're putting Deontay Johnson out there in the slot over DeAndre Lenore. I mean, what did Lenore do wrong now? I thought he had a good first 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden he did,
against the Green Bay. You didn't see that? Against Green Bay?
No, I mean, I get that. Yeah. You know, Green Bay messed up on a few assignments. You know, they had a couple even before then. So, I mean, that's not a good look either. Now that Demo Lenore, who we were all happy with the first few weeks, and now all of a sudden, Niners aren't trying to play him. He got I guess essentially benched before the Green Bay game. Had to come in, didn't play well, and then didn't play at all. It's different on special teams in this past game, if I remember correctly. I don't remember seeing him out there. So
right. Well, this has been quite a show. It started off with about 4 topics to rabbit trail, but we basically uncovered everything that has been on our minds, everything that's gone through the last few months, how basically when you knock over one domino, all of the dominoes fall. This has been a lot of fun, Kobe.
It's been 4 weeks losing my mind.
It's been amazing. It's been amazing. It's good content, though. It's good content.
Yeah, I mean, this is the state of everyone, so I'm not even mad.
The state of everyone. Well, everyone, thank you for watching. I'll probably be back on Wednesday with Jesse Naylor to discuss more NFL games. So, Kobe, everyone, go follow him. The link is in the description for his YouTube, and then you can see right there, Kobe Ransom 49 GM. So, we will see you guys later, and go 49ers. Let's hope they pull an upset. Peace.
Go 49ers.